Ladies and gentlemen, we have definitive proof that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. lied about the .40 caliber Glock that was possibly linked to the murder of Tupac Shakur. He lied to Detective Kim Valentine. You know what? Y'all might want to tell a friend about this one. Let's get into some of this straight game.
Life is like some cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bombshell. I'm going to bring you the definitive proof that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. lied about that .40 caliber Glock, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give you both statements as they lay out right here, right now. You see the thumbnail. So I need y'all to pay attention. Hit the thumbs up button, ladies and gentlemen. I don't play with it. I stay with it. And I need y'all to know that. Once again, shout out to the chat. Share this in your Instagram, your Snapchat, your Facebook, your YouTube, or wherever you are on display throughout social media, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get right into it. Check this out. Look, I need y'all to understand something first and foremost. Look. I need, like I said, thank y'all for tuning in. You know, I only go live when it's time to go live and keep it live, right? So what's up, y'all? You, like I said, back again, Straight Game TV, where culture meets the courtroom and the lies that can't outrun receipts. Today we are looking at Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and proof, ladies and gentlemen, proof in his own words that he lied about the Glock 40 that could change the entire Tupac murder narrative. It could change the whole narrative, ladies and gentlemen, right? So like I said, here's the setup. Outlawz member Fatal Hussein had a Glock taken from him. The same type of weapon Vegas police tied to the murder of Tupac Shakur in the murder case. Now, when Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. got pressed by Detective Kim Valentine, what did he say? Ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen the video I dropped yesterday, what did he say? I don't know what happened to that gun. That was his quote, ladies and gentlemen, right? That's the line. That's the line that he used, correct? But fast forward, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. slips up and admits something totally different, that he tossed the Glock into the Bahamian Ocean, ladies and gentlemen. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I don't like to think that you think that I'm exaggerating. Check this out. Well, let's go with this one right here. This is the statement that he gave detectives when he was basically giving a statement to Detective Kim Valentine, right? And Kim Valentine asked, was there ever an occasion where any of your police officers ever provided you with any other weapon other than the one we're discussing right now, right? We were just discussing. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. No. Kim Valentine. So you ultimately never got the gun from Kevin Hackey? Reggie Wright Jr. I don't remember that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I need you to understand what he did. He lied under oath, ladies and gentlemen. He lied to detectives. Listen, check it out. This guy, listen, man. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. lies so much, it's a damn shame. It don't even matter. Like I say, hit the like button, hit the share button on this one, ladies and gentlemen. Irrefutable proof. In his own words, right? Listen, Kim Valentine, Detective Kim Valentine said, you ultimately never got the gun from Kevin Hackey, right? Reggie Wright Jr. says, I don't remember that because I don't know what I did with the gun. If I got it. He said, I don't remember what I did with the gun if I got it. But I do remember some discussions about that now. I was wondering what the heck you were talking about. This is a whole interview about the gun. All of a sudden, he had this flashback and say now he remembered. But Chris Blatchford, right, from Fox, once again intersects with this story when he interviews Frank Alexander and Kevin Hackey. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, he said Kevin Hackey said, once I gave him the firearm, he gave it to his daddy, who at the time was a lieutenant with the Compton Police over the gang division. He said his daddy booked the firearm into property. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Hackey is actually saying what Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. told him at the time. But more importantly, you go back to the top statement, which I'm going to reiterate again. And the reason why I do that, because a lot of people have short attention spans. And like I said, when they come over here, not the people that really usually follow me, but the people that come over and they try to find these little things that they want to, focus on. So I have to reiterate it and keep dropping it down just like that, right? So he said his father was a lieutenant over the Compton Police over the gang division. He said his daddy booked the firearm into property, which is really and truly far-fetched, Kevin Hackey said at the time. About 6 months, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, about 6 months after Tupac's murder, Kevin Hackey said that Reggie told me, at any given time, I have the money, I have the people, I can have you killed at any time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back up there to the top after Kim Valentine asked him, so you ultimately never got the gun from Kevin Hackey. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. said, I don't remember that because I don't know what I did with the gun if I got it. But I do remember some discussion about it now. I was wondering what the heck you were talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you where Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. lied. Here it is right here. Boom. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. was asked by one of his followers on YouTube. Right? You see it right here. What does it say? Reggie, to clear all of the confusion once and for all, when Hackey gave you Fatal's 40 Glock back, who did you give it to? And Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. typed in what? Ocean in Bahamas. Right? And somebody down below said, that's a very good question. I dare you honestly answer it. And he said the ocean in Bahamas. Ladies and gentlemen, the question, the $1 million question. The $1 million question is, why did Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. feel the need to lie to detectives when he told the detective what? What did he tell him? He told the detective, Kim said what? Was there ever any occasion where any of your police officers ever provided you with any other weapon other than the one we're discussing here? You gotta. This is the funny part, because Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. plays dumb. Kim Valentine said, was there ever an occasion where any of your police officers ever provided you with any other weapon other than the one that we were just discussing? Listen to the question that she just asked him, right? Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. says no. Kim Valentine says, so you ultimately never got the gun from Kevin Hackey, right? Listen to his response after the first question at the top. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. says, I don't remember that because I don't know what I did with the gun if I got it. So hold on. He don't remember what he did with the gun if he got it. But then he says, but I do remember some discussion about that now. I was wondering what the heck you were talking about. He knew all along what she was talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is right here, look. Right in your face. Here it is right here. The question, you got to understand, he pretended not to even know. You hear it, you see it right here. Reggie, Smokey 5100 asked him. Somebody named Smokey 5100 on bomb first that was there. Smokey 50, Reggie, to clear all of the confusion once and for all, when Hackey gave you Fatal's 40 caliber Glock back, who did you give it to? Ladies and gentlemen, he just said he didn't even know if he got the gun, and if he did get the gun, what he did with it, ladies and gentlemen. That is an outright lie. And here's the proof that he lied right here. Point blank, period. And Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. said what? The ocean in Bahamas. And he got 5 thumbs up for that. And A.L. Lucky said, that's a very good question. I dare you to answer, to honestly answer that. 100. And you see it right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to understand what we have here. Because the fundamental thing about this situation is the fact that Tupac was shot with a 40 caliber Glock. Right? I don't want to make any false assertions or anything of that nature, but I'm going to tell you like this. Once again, why would Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. feel the need to take this particular 40 caliber Glock, right, and throw it in the ocean? In the Bahamas, as he said, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't tell you none of this. He just told you. He told the detectives. He lied to them, acted as if he didn't know what was going on, right? If I did get, you notice something? You notice something. If you really, truly, honestly paying attention, have been paying attention to what I've been telling y'all, this is the same thing he said about being fired by Tupac. I don't know if I got the letter. If I did, I don't know if I got. This is the same lie. This is that same lie that he, and it's a pattern, and I'm picking up on it, right? So he then tells, Kim Valentine, I don't know if I did get it. I don't know what it is. You know what? Now I know what you're talking about. The lady had been talking about the gun from the beginning of the interview, which if you want to see that whole part about the whole statement, you can watch the video that was released this morning. But this in particular, right? This in particular goes and confirms that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. lied about that 40 caliber Glock, man. And the question you got to ask, well, why would, hold on. A gun that didn't have no bodies, no crime, no nothing on it, didn't belong to him, right? They got it from Fatal Hussein, Tupac's partner at that time. Why would Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. feel the need to throw that gun away? Not in the storm drain in Compton, not in a storm drain in Long Beach or LA, not over in the LA River, but in the Bahamas. And then, as a matter of fact, when questioned by detectives as to where the gun was, it was something benign. It wasn't, he didn't have to, you know what I mean? The gun didn't belong to him. He wasn't caught with the gun, right? So why would he feel the need to throw this gun away, this particular 40 caliber Glock, right? Listen, but not only, that's not the only perplexing part right there, but check this out. What Kevin Hackey says, when you talk about the consciousness of guilt, if you will, right? When we're dealing with the consciousness of guilt. So you say, okay, I hear what you're saying, Delray, but I'm not saying nothing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying nothing, right? So like I said, so which one is it, right? You don't know what happened, right? So which one is it? That's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. Which one actually is it? You don't know what happened, or you threw it away yourself. Either way, that's a certified lie, ladies and gentlemen. It's a certified lie. And when you lying about a weapon connected to Tupac, in regards to the House of Blues, right? That's where they were going in, and Tupac, and then dealing with the murder of Tupac and wanting to be what Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has tried to position himself as the ultimate truth teller, in which we know today with this video, he's an outright liar. It is a certified lie, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, he can't be trusted. You see it right here, right? And I'm going to rehash it, right? This is legally explosive, ladies and gentlemen. Legally explosive. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. should not be talking about anything related to the late, great Tupac Amaru Shakur. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. This one right here is like I said, it's legally explosive, ladies and gentlemen. So listen, look, let's talk the law. Let's speak about law, right? In any homicide case, possession or destruction of a weapon or that matches the murder weapon is called obstruction of justice, right? Like I said, once again, Kevin Hackey was talking specifically about 6 months after, when he said in his state, 6 months after Tupac was murdered. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. made a threatening statement in regards to Kevin Hackey, right? Listen, y'all got to understand what I'm telling you now. He made a threatening statement to Kevin Hackey and saying, you know I got the money. You know I got the people. This is Kevin Hackey talking. So now, you have to understand, when you lie to a detective doing an active investigation involving that weapon, right, as to where the weapon was, or in the investigation involving the murder of Tupac Shakur, that's not a little slip up. That's making a false statement to law enforcement under the evidence rules. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr.'s own contradictory words became what's called an admission by a party opponent. Translation, his mouth just became evidence against him in regards to that weapon. Think about it. You see it. I gave you the two contract. Let me do this again, because like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we don't do nothing here but straight game. You see it right here. Detective Kim Valentine. Once again, was there ever an occasion where any of your police officers ever provided you with any other weapon other than the one we were just discussing? Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. says no. Mind you, he's talking to a detective, y'all. Kim Valentine. So you ultimately never got the gun from Kevin Hackey. Ladies and gentlemen, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr.'s response is, I don't remember that. He said, clearly, ladies and gentlemen, I don't remember that. He does not remember getting a gun from Kevin Hackey. I need you to pay attention to that. I don't remember that, because I don't know what I did with the gun if I got it. That's two lies right there. He said, number one, he said, I don't remember that. Then he said, because I don't know what I did with the gun if I got it, ladies and gentlemen. But I do remember some discussion about that now. Some discussion about that. Not that he got the gun. I was wondering what the heck you were talking about, right? Then Kevin Hackey goes and said, and listen to what Kevin Hackey said. It's very important. He said that once he gave him that firearm, that he gave it to his daddy, who at the time was a lieutenant with the Compton Police over the gang division. He said his daddy booked that firearm into property, which is really and truly far-fetched. About 6 months after Tupac's murder, Reggie told me, Kevin Hackey said that Reggie told him, you know, at any given time, I have the money, I have the people, I can have you killed at any given time. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to go back to the part where he says, I don't remember because I don't know what I did with the gun if I got it. And then I want you to look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. talking to one of their subscribers over on YouTube. And the fundamental question was asked. Smokey 5100 asked Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. 5 months ago, ladies and gentlemen, 5 months ago, Reggie, to clear all of the confusion once and for all, when Hackey gave you Fatal's 40 back, who did you give it to? Remember, he said, I don't remember that. I don't know what I did with the gun if I did get it. You see him right here. He got the gun back. And he answered the question simply. It's in the ocean in the Bahamas. It's in the ocean in the Bahamas, ladies and gentlemen. You can't, like I said, you can't make this shit up. This is what it is. This is Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. once again being caught in a hellified lie. Like I said, Tupac Shakur was killed with a 40 caliber Glock. You see Kevin Hackey say what? About 6 months after Tupac's murder, Reggie told me. Why would he say that to him? Was he trying to threaten Kevin Hackey because Kevin Hackey had some kind of suspicion? Remember, Kevin Hackey was the one that offered the lie detector test for $100,000 that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Refused to take. Right? So when you look at this and you understand this for what this really truly is, it's astonishing, man. Right? Listen, and I need you to understand that. So, like I said, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr.'s own contradictory words become what's called an admission by a party opponent. Translation, his mouth just became evidence against him. Think about it. The Glock 40 was already identified, right, by investigators as the weapon type tied to Pac's killing. Reggie goes from, in being asked about that specific weapon, Reggie goes from, I don't know, to I threw it in the ocean, ladies and gentlemen. Right? That ain't just shady. That's not just being shady. That's destruction of possible evidence as to when it was thrown in the ocean. And the destruction of evidence usually equals a consciousness of guilt, period. Am I lying? Hit the thumbs up button, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel. Like I said, we only gonna do straight game over here. We're not gonna do no iffy, fiffy, shiffy. We're gonna keep it straight with you guys all the time, right? But listen, but this goes deeper than Reggie. This is about 25 years of silence, cover-ups, and misdirections around the death of Tupac Shakur. Tupac wasn't just a rapper. He was a revolutionary voice and a cultural weapon. And when the truth about his murder gets buried under lies, that's not just disrespect. That's an attack on history, right? But then when someone like Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. lies and continues to lie and, come up with these little surreptitious ass statements and playing these games and things like that, once again, what are we to think? But today, ladies and gentlemen, you have definitive proof of a confirmed lie in relation to the 40 caliber Glock, ladies and gentlemen. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. said nothing about the Bahamas during the investigation with Kim Valentine, ladies and gentlemen. He said, I don't know. I don't remember that. I don't know if I did get it. I don't know what I did with it. Only till later, years later, approximately 5 months ago, right? Y'all think I'm playing? Look, man. Approximately how long ago, ladies and gentlemen? Approximately what? What does the on the top of the thing when the question was asked? Approximately how long ago? I'm gonna let y'all answer that when you look at the top. When you look at the top of the screen, approximately how long ago was this question asked? Right? Look, Reggie, to clear all the confusion once and for all, when Hackett gave you Fatal's 40 caliber Glock back, who did you give it to? The ocean in the Bahamas. Ladies and gentlemen, so he even lied to Kevin Hackett because Kevin Hackett said that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. told him that he gave it to his father. Why would he implicate his father like that? Think about it. And the person down the bottom said, that's a very good question. I dare you to honestly answer that. Right? So you contrast the two statements as to what that means to you and the things that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has been talking about and telling people over the internet. I need you to understand that and clearly understand it for what it's worth. It's a confirmed lie. Right? So every time Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. slips, every time his own words expose him, the veil over Pac's murder gets thinner. First it was thick, but now the veil is getting a little bit thinner. And the culture deserves the truth. Tupac fans deserve the truth. Tupac family deserves the truth. Like I said, once again, when you look at the statement, he even denied getting fired. He denied that Tupac fired him until Yasmin actually put out the facts, proving it. Then what did he do? The same thing that he did sitting down in front of the detective Kim Valentine. What did he say? I don't know if I got it. If I got it, I don't know if I got it. I didn't got it. I showed you the video, him actually saying that. $5 months ago. You right about that, Fatima. 5 months ago, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, when we're talking about, hold on, I'm not done with y'all yet. Right. Listen. So we got to keep this. Let's keep it all the way real. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. lied to detectives and then told another story later, ladies and gentlemen. He knew exactly what happened to that Glock. And he put it in the ocean like it never existed, ladies and gentlemen. Like it never existed. But here's the thing. The ocean don't wash away lies. You understand what I'm saying? See, the ocean didn't wash away his lies because now he's been exposed and caught in that lie with his own words. Two contradicting statements. Right? Receipts last forever. And now his own words tie him back to every weapon that could have solved Tupac's murder for years. To the very weapon, ladies and gentlemen, to the very weapon, that could have solved Tupac's murder for years. My question is, listen, y'all, you got to understand, this particular gun, why this particular gun? And it's the same kind of weapon, the exact same kind, a 40 caliber Glock that was used to kill Tupac. Why would he throw that gun in the Bahamian Sea? Right? Wasn't his gun. Why did he feel the need to get rid of that? I mean, for all intents and purposes, the gun had no crimes on it or nothing like that. He could have kept it. But this is what I'm talking about. These are the lies. And like I said, this is a confirmed lie, ladies and gentlemen. Look, like I said, once again, That's what we're doing over here on Straight Game TV. I had to bring this to you, right? Like I said, we don't just report, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to reveal to you proof in Reggie the Rat Wright Jr.'s own words that he lied about the 40 caliber Glock. And a lie that could change the whole Tupac narrative. Think about it. Don't forget. The streets may forget, but the law and the truth, they got a long memory, ladies and gentlemen, a long, long memory. And more importantly than that, you have to understand. I'm gonna shift right here. Just like yesterday, they did a video. They're now trying to collect $200 for people to come play their demo tapes over on Bums First. Must be hurting for cash, man. Remember a few months ago, they were laughing at people that worked at Walmart? Now they're trying to do demo critiques over on Bums First, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, not only that, but Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. said, since y'all feel like a gullible John over here asking me softball questions, y'all could pay $300 a question or $300 to ask me 10 questions. Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a game. You can see the whole time from beginning to end. This was never about the love, respect, or substantive information in regards to Tupac Shakur or anything like that. This was about lies and deceit and trying to clout chase and a money grab. You see it right now. $200 to come play your song on Bums First? Really? Are you kidding me? Think about it. I want you to understand this. There was another thing that came about in regards to the Drake situation and having Tupac's chain allegedly, right? The people who sold the chain said they verified it with Tupac actually wearing the chain, and Tupac had more than one death row chain. Listen to this. But Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. once again would try to hijack that story and act like he was in the know in regards to where they got the chain from. Now, I can tell you this for most people that don't know. Remember the ring that Drake bought? The crown ring? It was diamonds and rubies, right? And he bought that for approximately a couple of $100,000, million, something like that, $1 million, something like that, right? That ring ultimately came from Yasmin Fula, Yaki Gaddafi's mom. That was Tupac's godmother. She was that close to Tupac. She was the one that wrote the letter firing Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Now, I don't know if the chain came from her or the charm came from her. I'm sorry. But once again, if this is something that's you can best believe that it came from a reliable source, ladies and gentlemen. But Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. would once again try to come in and hijack that with his own bit of bullshit, lies, and speculation, right? As to get in on the conversation. You understand what I'm saying? But once again, today, ladies and gentlemen, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has been exposed for one of the most damning lies ever to be told in regards to the murder of Tupac Shakur. Point blank, period. And I'm going to leave it with you like this one more time for the people in the back row that didn't see it, right? One more time for the people in the back row that didn't see it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do it like this. Check it out. Once again, Kim Valentine, Detective Kim Valentine. Was there ever an occasion where any of your police officers ever provided you with any other weapon other than the one that we're just discussing? Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. tells the detective no. Kim Valentine then asks again. So you ultimately never got the gun from Kevin Hackey. What did Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. say? I don't remember that. He said, I don't remember getting no gun from Kevin Hackey. Why would he say that? Why would he deny the gun? Right? Because I don't know what I did with the gun if I did get it. Remember, he said that about being fired. I didn't get the letter because if I did get it, I would have been like, fuck that nigga. Talking about Tupac when Tupac fired him. Claiming that he didn't get the facts firing him. He got it. Just like he got that gun from Kevin Hackey. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Because I don't know what I did with the gun if I got it. But I do remember some discussion about that now. I was wondering what the heck you was talking about, Kim. And then we flip it to 5 months ago. We flip it to 5 months ago, ladies and gentlemen. You see it right here. The truth. The facts. It's a damn shame, man. I told you this guy's a low down, dirty, rotten scoundrel, man. Amazing. You see it. Reggie, to be clear, of all the confusion, once and for all, when Hackey gave you Fatal's 40 caliber Glock back, who did you give it to? He said the ocean and the Bahamas. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said once again, more importantly, your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artists, platinum songwriters, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming by. More importantly, stay tuned. Your boy Delray, straight game.
They said Tupac was untouchable, but behind the walls of Rikers Island, he was just a man, wounded, watching his back, and wondering who he could trust. He survived bullets, betrayal, and isolation behind bars. But what happened inside those walls has never been told until now. In the darkest corner of Rikers, he found betrayal and a brotherhood no one saw coming. These dudes smiled in my face, then flipped and tried to kill me, and I never saw it coming. They were Puff's security, Biggie's muscle, Henchman's people, and Tupac knew exactly who sent them. This is the side of Tupac Shakur the world never got to see, told by the man who lived it with him, not in the studio, but in a 6x9 cell. The rap battles, sex and drama with female guards, the tears, the silence after Jada Pinkett's visit, and the moment Tupac almost broke. Before Death Row, before All Eyes on Me, before Machiavelli, there was Rikers. Behind the Walls with Tupac Shakur, available now on Amazon. Get your copy. Learn the truth.